Hey, welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome. We are so glad you found us. I'm Mark, and this is Adventures by K&M, where Kim and I help families, couples, and anyone who loves a good adventure plan vacations that are actually worth taking. And look, we get it. Planning a Disney trip or a theme park vacation sounds fun until you're 3 hours deep into Reddit threads, trying to figure out fast pass strategies, rope drop timing, and which hotel is actually worth the price. It can get overwhelming fast. That's exactly why we're here. We've done the homework so you don't have to, and we're going to break it all down in a way that's simple, practical, and actually fun. Whether you're planning your very first trip to Walt Disney World, thinking about Disneyland, Universal, or even an international park adventure, this channel is your go-to resource for making it happen without the stress. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we've got a lot of great content coming your way. Tips, guides, honest reviews, and maybe a little bit of magic along the way. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the debate. If you are about to invest $7,250 into a highly volatile stock, you would demand a risk management strategy, right? You wouldn't just wire the money, cross your fingers, and hope the market treats you kindly. You'd scrutinize every single variable.
Oh, absolutely. You would definitely want safeguards in place. You'd want to protect that initial capital because the environment you're entering is incredibly complex, right? And it's entirely unforgiving to the unprepared.
Exactly. It's a massive financial commitment. But, when a family drops that exact same amount on a baseline Walt Disney World vacation, they often step off the airplane with zero insurance against disaster. They basically leave their entire experience up to chance.
Yeah, they really do.
So today, we're unpacking the staggering realities of planning a first-time family vacation to Walt Disney World in 2026. Specifically, we are looking at a family of 4, so 2 adults, 2 kids, staring down a baseline cost of roughly $7,250 for a week-long trip.
Which is just a huge number for most people.
It really is. And the central question we're exploring today is this. When faced with that massive initial price tag, does true value come from strictly adhering to that baseline budget, or do strategic luxury upgrades and extended stays actually protect the family's investment?
Right.
So I look at this from the perspective of a veteran travel planner. I argue that precisely because you're spending so much upfront, strategic upgrades, convenience add-ons, and multi-day ticket discounts they're essential investments to guarantee a successful first trip.
And I approach this from the perspective of a budget-conscious parent planning their very first trip. I maintain that tightly controlling the baseline budget and frankly ruthlessly rejecting premium upsells is the only way to protect both the family's finances and their sanity. The ecosystem is designed to bleed you dry through incremental upgrades if you don't aggressively defend your baseline.
Well, let's lay out the 2026 math because it's undeniably intimidating. A baseline 7-night trip for a family of 4 at a value resort. Let's use All-Star Sports as the example, right?
Sure.
Which has a median rate of around $194 a night. So that averages out to $7,250 once you factor in the 13.5% Osceola County hotel tax, basic dining, and standard tickets. My position is that because this baseline sunk cost is so incredibly high, trying to do Disney on the absolute bare minimum isn't saving money. It's actually wasting a $7,000 investment.
Wasting it? How is saving money wasting it?
Because you end up spending your entire vacation stressed out and standing in lines. You have to leverage their pricing models. For instance, a single-day peak ticket at Magic Kingdom right now is $209. But Disney's multi-day pricing drops dramatically. With the 2026 buy 4 days, get 2 free summer promo, your daily ticket cost drops to roughly $82 a day.
Right, but...
And for a family coming for the first time, having more days means you don't have to rush.
Okay, but the urge to rush is real. But the math behind solving it by staying longer is a total trap. That $7,250 is already a luxury expenditure for the vast majority of families.
Sure, it's a lot.
The constant, ubiquitous pressure from Disney to, upgrade your experience or extend your stay is a carefully engineered financial mechanism.
The entire ecosystem is designed to make you feel like your baseline vacation is somehow inadequate.
But Disney explicitly structures its ticket prices to reward guests for longer visits. If a one-day ticket is $209, but a 10-day ticket drops to roughly $66 a day, you are literally buying time, and time translates directly to peace of mind.
Does it, though?
Yes. The number one cause of toddler meltdowns and parent burnout at Disney World is the frantic attempt to cram a 14-hour park day into a short trip. Parents look at that $7,250 price tag and they panic. They try to extract every ounce of value by marching their kids from rope drop to fireworks.
Well, they're exhausted.
Exactly. But if you have a 6 or 7 day ticket, you can hit the parks for a few hours in the morning, go back to the value resort for a nap and a swim, and, return in the evening when it's cooler.
See, buying more days to save on the daily ticket rate is like buying a boat because the life jackets were on clearance.
Oh, come on, that's not.
No, it is. It is fundamentally flawed math. We have to look at the actual mechanism of what an extra day really costs. You're right that Disney drops the marginal cost of the ticket to $66 or $82 because, frankly, it costs Disney virtually nothing to have you walk through the turnstiles an extra day.
Right.
But what does it cost the family? That extra day means paying another $194 for the room, plus that 13.5% tax, bringing it to about $220.
Sure, the room costs money.
And it means buying 3 more meals. Even if you stick to basic burgers and chicken tenders at like $15 to $20 an adult and $9 to $12 a kid, plus a couple of $6.50 Mickey ice cream bars, you are easily burning through $225 a day just in food.
Okay, so the daily burn rate is much higher than just the ticket price. I'll grant you that.
Exactly. Your quote-unquote cheap $66 ticket day actually costs your family an additional $511 minimum. For a first-time visitor, a concise, well-planned 4-day trip, like 1 day per park, is a much safer baseline. It prevents the budget from silently ballooning by over $1,000 just because the ticket math looked appealing on a spreadsheet.
But you're missing the...
A successful vacation isn't about stretching your timeline to dilute the ticket cost, right? It's about doing a few things really well without draining your savings.
Look, the daily burn rate is a massive factor, especially regarding food, which is where families definitely feel the pinch. But Disney has introduced a major lever for 2026 to control those exact costs, and that's the Kids Eat Free promotion.
Oh boy, the dining promos.
Hear me out. This changes the calculus entirely. For families with children ages 3 to 9, if you book a qualifying package, the kids get the quick service dining plan for $0. Without this promo, the child rate is $26.16 per night. By utilizing this, you are locking in your budget before you ever leave home.
You're locking in a budget, yes, but you're anchoring it artificially high. We really need to look at the behavioral economics behind why Disney offers that promotion in the first place.
They offer it because they know dining is a huge stress point for parents. The adults pay the official rate of $60.47 per night. So for roughly $121 a day, the entire family of 4 has their meals prepaid. You completely remove the stress of nickel and diming every single snack.
Right, but you're still paying $121 a day.
Yes, but you aren't wincing every time your 7-year-old asks for an $8.50 Mickey pretzel because it's already covered on the dining band. That's psychological freedom. Just the ability to say yes to your kid on vacation is a massive upgrade to the experience.
Okay, but Disney knows that by giving the kids' meals away, they guarantee capturing that $121 a day from the parents. The math basically requires the adults to commit to a costly daily dining structure. A budget-conscious family doesn't have to spend anywhere near that $121 daily minimum.
Okay, wait. How do you feed a family of 4 at Disney World for less than $121 a day without carrying a cooler full of soggy sandwiches around the park?
It's actually pretty simple. You utilize a third-party grocery delivery service straight to your resort lobby on day 1. You stock up on like granola bars, cereal, and fruit for breakfast. That single move immediately saves a family of 4 about $75 a day compared to eating eggs and bacon at the resort food court.
I mean, sure, eating cereal in a hotel room is cheaper.
And then, for lunch and dinner, you share. The whole mechanism of Disney Quick Service is that the portions are notoriously huge. 2 adult combo meals, let's say a massive pulled pork platter and a half chicken meal, can easily feed 2 parents and 2 young children. By rejecting the free kids promo, you aren't forced to prepay for an excessive amount of food that a family of 4 simply might not even eat.
But
Especially in the July heat, right? When heavy meals lead directly to a sugar crash and just physical exhaustion.
But you are asking a family on their vacation to manage grocery logistics, portion out shared meals, and act as, accountants every time they approach a cash register.
It's not that hard to share a meal.
The cognitive load of constantly calculating whether the kids are hungry enough to justify splitting a $15 meal versus buying a kid's meal is exhausting. Cognitive load is the absolute enemy of a relaxing vacation.
You know what else is exhausting? The cognitive load of a $1,500 credit card hangover. That's a burden they'll carry for months after they fly home. And frankly, the physical exhaustion from overeating rich theme park food in 95-degree heat contributes directly to the very park exhaustion you're trying to solve.
Well, that actually leads perfectly into how families navigate the parks. Because exhaustion, whether from heat, heavy food, or just the sheer scale of the properties, is the reality of a Disney trip. In 2026, paying for time is the new normal.
Unfortunately.
If you pay $209 to enter Magic Kingdom and you spend 4 hours of your day standing in physical standby lines, just staring at the back of someone's head, you have effectively wasted a massive percentage of your admission cost.
Right.
This is exactly why the Lightning Lane Multipass, which averages around $25 per person per day, is a non-negotiable insurance policy for first-timers. It ensures they actually ride the attractions they came for before the heat and exhaustion take over.
Okay, let's break down what managing that multipass actually looks like, because we were just talking about cognitive load. The Lightning Lane system is not some simple buy it and skip the line ticket, it's a digital lottery.
It's an app reservation system, yes.
To get the rides you want, one parent has to wake up before 7 a.m. every single morning of their vacation. At exactly 6:59 and 59 seconds, they are aggressively refreshing the Disney app, competing with 40,000 other people in the park to secure a return time.
It can be competitive, sure.
Competitive? It's like day trading on the stock market while trying to push a double stroller through a humid crowd. It is intensely stressful.
Which is exactly why Disney now offers the Lightning Lane Premier Pass. For those who want absolutely zero cognitive load and no 7 a.m. alarms, the Premier Pass gives you completely frictionless access to every single Lightning Lane. You just walk up to the ride whenever you want.
Wait.
Yes. It is a luxury upgrade. It runs anywhere from $119 to $449 per person, depending on the park and the season. But it completely removes the app from the equation.
Let's pause and really look at that number. $449
Per person.
per day.
That's peak pricing during the holidays, but yes, it is a premium product.
We are talking about an add-on that routinely costs more than the admission ticket itself. For a family of 4, if they buy that Premier Pass at peak pricing, that is nearly $1,800 a day in line-skipping fees alone.
I know the math.
$1,800. It completely blows that $7,250 baseline budget out of the water in a matter of hours. Paying $1,800 a day just to avoid looking at an app on your phone is an astonishing distortion of value.
It's undeniably a luxury tier. I'm not denying that. But it exists because the friction of the standard system is so high. Some families value their time more than that extra money.
But normalizing it is dangerous for first-timers. If you accept the premise that a $209 ticket doesn't actually buy you reasonable access to the park's marquee attractions, you fall into a mindset where you justify endless premium spending.
It's just a tool.
You start thinking, oh, it's only another $100 for the multipass today. It's only another $274 for a custom lightsaber at Savi's Workshop. By the way, Savi's Workshop is another perfect example of this. It's an incredibly immersive, 20-minute lightsaber building experience. But because you're already in this magical spending mindset where everything costs hundreds of dollars, you easily justify dropping almost $300 on a souvenir.
Well, souvenirs are a personal choice.
Right, but suddenly that carefully planned $7,250 baseline we calculated is $10,000, and you haven't even bought dinner yet.
Look, I don't disagree that budget creep is a massive threat. But flexibility is another way you protect the investment. Let's look at the Park Hopper add-on. which is an extra, what, $65 to $80 per ticket?
Yep.
If your family is at Magic Kingdom and it is shoulder to shoulder crowded, or the kids are melting down, the hopper sounds magical. You can leave, take a break, and have a quiet dinner in Epcot. You aren't trapped in a park that just isn't working for your family that day.
It sounds magical until you look at the actual mechanism of park hopping with young kids. It is a logistical nightmare for a first-timer.
It's not that bad.
Think about the physical steps required. You decide Magic Kingdom is too crowded. You now have to walk all the way back to the front of the park. You have to take everything out of the $31 a day rented double stroller and fold it up.
Okay.
You stand in the humidity waiting 20 minutes for a crowded Disney bus. You wrangle your exhausted 7 and 10-year-olds onto the transit. You drive 15 minutes, unload, unfold the stroller, repack it, and then go through a second security checkpoint before you even enter Epcot.
Well, when you put it like that,
You are injecting a 90-minute stress fest right into the middle of your day. It is entirely contrary to a relaxed first-time experience. First-timers should definitively stick to one park per day and just build in a midday break at their hotel instead.
for a seasoned visitor, hopping is incredibly valuable because they know the transit routes by heart. But, all right, I will concede that for a newbie family, the transit logistics you just described can be overwhelming. Focusing on one park per day is often the safest bet to maintain family morale.
Exactly.
However, while you might skip the hopper, I maintain that you absolutely cannot skip the targeted line skipping passes entirely. You mentioned the extreme end with the Premier Pass, but let's look at the single pass.
The a la carte rides, right.
Right. If your family wants to ride Tron Light Cycle Run at Magic Kingdom or Guardians of the Galaxy at Epcot, you are looking at $22 to $23 per person for a Lightning Lane single pass. To me, that is $90 incredibly well spent for a family of 4. Because what is the alternative?
The alternative is the virtual queue.
And the mechanism there is brutal. Thousands of people hitting refresh on their phones at exactly 7:00:00 a.m. If your thumb is a fraction of a second too slow, the queue vanishes. You don't get a boarding group. And then you are facing standby times that will genuinely ruin a toddler's afternoon.
Sure, the standby lines are long.
Strategic, targeted upgrades, like picking specific days to buy a multi-pass or dropping $90 on a single pass for a headliner ride, are how you ensure your family actually experiences the things that they've spent months looking forward to.
Look, I don't disagree that waiting 2 hours in the Florida sun for Tron is miserable. What I push back against is the assumption that you must ride Tron to have a successful Disney vacation.
But it's the newest ride.
The pressure to do everything is exactly what drives the spending. If a family of 4 decides that $90 is better kept in their bank account and they, skip Tron to ride Pirates of the Caribbean and the Haunted Mansion with minimal waits, their vacation isn't ruined. They still had a magical day and they protected their baseline.
But when a family is already committing over $7,000 in months of anticipation to a first-time trip, the worst possible outcome is returning home feeling like they missed out on the marquee experiences because they tried to save $90 at the finish line.
I can't agree that $90 makes or breaks it.
By strategically leveraging the 2026 pricing models, like taking advantage of multi-day ticket drops, utilizing the Kids Eat Free dining promo to genuinely lock in costs, and deploying targeted upgrades like Lightning Lanes, a family ensures they actually get what they paid for. You are buying time, convenience, and a buffer against exhaustion.
And my counter is that first-time visitors must ruthlessly protect their baseline budget, precisely because the Disney ecosystem is masterfully designed to extract premium pricing at every possible turn.
It's a business, yes.
By rejecting the artificial pressure of extended stays, high-cost park hoppers, and exorbitant premium passes, a family protects not just their finances, but their emotional bandwidth. A well-planned, concise 4-day vacation that relies on smart, ground-level strategies like early entry and grocery delivery keeps the trip manageable and prevents the post-vacation financial hangover.
It is clear we have fundamentally different philosophies on where the value lies in a modern theme park vacation. But there is undeniable convergence here. Navigating Walt Disney World in 2026 requires immense upfront research. You simply cannot show up to the gates unprepared.
Oh, absolutely. The days of walking up to the ticket booth and figuring it out as you go are completely dead.
Long gone.
And you have to be vigilant about hidden costs that completely upend the math we've been talking about. For instance, families often decide to stay at an off-site hotel to save on the room rate, thinking they're beating the system.
Right, the off-site trap.
Exactly, because they failed to account for the $35 per day theme park parking fee. Once you add $35 a day in parking, plus the cost of a rental car or taking an Uber every day, that cheaper off-site hotel might actually cost you more than just staying in the Disney bubble at a value resort where transportation is included.
Which is exactly why setting firm boundaries before you even leave home is vital, regardless of which approach you take. Having a strict souvenir budget per child or deciding in advance exactly which days you will buy a lightning lane prevents those heat-of-the-moment purchases that totally wreck the spreadsheet.
Because the environment is engineered for impulse spending. The smells, the music, the exhaustion, it all lowers your resistance. You really have to decide your family's stamina and financial limits before you ever click book.
It really does all go back to that initial investment. Whether you choose to pour extra capital into upgrades as an insurance policy to guarantee a smoother ride, or fiercely defend your baseline capital to mitigate financial risk, the choice requires intention.
Definitely.
You have to know what kind of investor and what kind of vacationer you are. We'll leave it to our listeners to evaluate their own family's boundaries before locking in those 2026 reservations. Think carefully about where you are putting that $7,000 and what kind of return you expect to bring home.
Quick word from Adventures by K&M. If today's episode got you thinking about your next Disney vacation or theme park adventure, we'd love to help you plan it. Kim and I are full-service travel advisors specializing in Disney and theme park experiences for families. We handle everything, the research, the booking, the dining reservations, the details, so all you have to do is show up and make memories. And here's the best part. Our planning services are completely free to you. We're paid by the parks and resorts, not by you. So if you're ready to start dreaming, head to adventuresbykandem.info or grab the link in the description to book a free discovery call. We'd love to help you plan something truly magical